All right, let's see. What do we have here? Want to say first, hello everyone. If you're out there, gotta see if my audio sounds good. Audio checking time. Last time I messed up with my audio. Trying to make sure we don't duplicate these mistakes. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So, what do we have for today? Um, Want to say welcome to everybody. That's coming in to the chat. Hello, hello. Um, all right. Want to get started. First, we got some hefty news. If you're curious about what it is, I'm going to end up talking about. We got 5G news, some Qualcomm news, some YouTube influential news, gun news. Yes, guns have technology in it also. Emulators, hydrogen, and robo taxis. So please stick around. Let me know what you think, how you feel. Let's make it happen. All right. So for today's episode, we are going to start with the 5G news first. So if you're a cellular enthusiast like myself, you kind of watch what's been going on. If you have been fortunate to be able to have multiple cell phone lines, you go out here and you test the networks. I'm working on a new testing method so I can be a little bit more rigorous in showing the differences between the cell carriers. But in the industry itself, it's starting to change. Depends on how you might end up looking at it. Is it changing for the better? Is it changing for the worse? Is this just the side of change that we normally see after a G generation release? So let's get this up here on the screen. Let's get it up here. So this article is from Fierce Wireless. And I like reading Fierce because between Fierce and light reading, they do some in-depth reporting and constantly remind us that we kind of have been here before and what we can possibly end up seeing later on down the road. So it kind of keeps your eye out on what is possibly going to end up happening later on. So right here, so industry voices say the 5G deep freeze is coming. All right, so to give you some context about this article, which you can find this on Fierce Network, I think they changed their name. They went from Fierce Wireless to Fierce Network. Um, to kind of give you an idea about this, the 5G is no different except for newer technology in the comparison to other Gs that came before it. So if you it depends on when you decided to want to pay attention to cellular networks. I dabbled a lot, but before I started reading a whole lot about it, granted, I am not a network engineer. I would love to see how it actually works, but I can only deduce from me spending my money on these networks and going out here and looking at it for myself. But for the most part, the industry is going through different ebbs and flows. And in this article, is basically talking about the flows now. So when new spectrum came up, and it was like, the C-band auction and T-Mobile merging with Sprint, that was the height of where 5G was starting from. And then now what they're calling for is now, since all that has passed and the cell companies have kind of gotten into the rut that they're planning on being in, which is T-Mobile is probably going to be trying to expand their network more than they are trying to push 5G down everybody's throat as much. Verizon is pretty much going to be where it's at right now, which is, from my analysis, is that they are looking to supplement their network with their other network. Basically, they want to add their wireline or fiber services to their wireless services, and they're not going as hard in doing so. So yes, Verizon is deploying in 77, but they're not pushing it as hard in places they don't already have fiber network prowess. So we're seeing this weird kind of there, kind of not for Verizon, and then AT&T being the third wheel of this tricycle. AT&T is kind of in the back. A lot of industry analysts have already said this. AT&T is not pushing as hard, and I think this is going to be for the foreseeable future, because during this deep freeze, you start seeing consolidations. So we are, in the beginning of 5G, everybody was talking about Open RAN. So if you're not sure what ORAN was, it was basically you plug and play whatever hardware vendor in, and it would just work with other vendors no matter what. That was kind of a pipe dream. That's not how, economy of scale and how companies like to do things. It sounds nice on paper, but in hindsight, a company only wants to deal with one and want to be able to blame one, not go and be complaining about multiple people not working together. And I didn't see ORAN being a viable future. And to give you an idea, while ORAN, or Open Radio Access Network, basically you would have vendors like Ericsson and Nokia and Samsung, and on one vendor being like, let's say, AT&T, they would automatically put out something and like, hey, look, we do this too, and they put that out too, and they would just all work interoperable together. So now you kind of seeing them kind of retreat back and kind of go to their respective corners. So even in this article, it goes through kind of like a small history of the last couple years and the last different Gs that we've already gone through. So like going as far back as 2G, and what different companies were doing during those times. So like after 2G, Motorola dropped out. After 3G, we saw NSN joint venture and Alcatel and Lucent join forces. Nortel dropped out and became part of Nokia. After 4G, Nokia acquired Alcatel Lucent. So you have all these different consolidations. And then currently right now in 5G, we have Nokia, we have Ericsson, and we have Samsung. Samsung is trying to make inroads, but I don't quite see Samsung being able to make a lot of inroads. They might end up becoming a hardware vendor for maybe one of the other two. But I do think that we're starting to become, here in the United States, I would say, two-party system, like kind of like PC versus Mac. Ericsson's probably going to end up being the Mac, and Nokia is probably going to end up being PC. Kind of like the stepchilds of the industry. Who's going to gain the love of the carriers? Because like currently, right now, AT&T has chosen Ericsson as their primary vendor, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But you're starting to see the consolidation of these networks overall. And you can say that might be a good thing, that might be a bad thing. Depending on where you stand, Samsung probably sees it as a bad thing because it doesn't give them a chance to, get in real good. I call it for whatever is good for the end user like myself, so be it. If it goes from 20 down to 2, so be it. Ericsson can make the best gear, then Nokia pushes Nokia to come up behind and do better. I'm all for it. But like currently right now, the investment it takes to kind of keep up with all these different G's is becoming more expensive, and the demands for the hardware is a lot more. You're starting to see the consolidation, multi band radios. Not everybody's going to be able to do those things, and space is a premium on a tower. You can't just throw everything at a tower and hope that you can hang from it. So the question is what kind of work can we end up doing to try to consolidate this down, try to make it better? AT&T has been making some moves. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they are kind of in third place from everybody's perspective. So hold on one second. I do think that Ericsson is the leader currently, but I do feel that if we consolidate down to 2, then we can have more robustness, more competition in the space. That's kind of how I look at it. I think that having 14 vendors doesn't do anything for everybody who wants to be involved. That's kind of how I think about it. It's the same exact way that we went from 4 cell carriers in the United States to 3. And with 3, we have had a lot more competition. Maybe not enough competition just yet, but it's starting to show more in your cell phone bill. The cell phone carriers are not as eager to want to agitate the populace as much. Instead of just looking at you going, you're going to pay what we want you to pay, and tough cookies. So my take on the current state of things, and with 5G starting to slow down, I'm always going to be testing. I'm just a nerd that way. But it's going to be interesting to see their trajectory, what roads they end up deciding to do. Like, Verizon's road right now is to wait until their fiber footprint matches their cell footprint before they fully commit. Don't get me wrong. When you hit an area that has Verizon's backhaul, their 5G is nice. But currently right now, they're still doing a lot of network managing, even though they have the network to back up behind it. I think that might be just, them still thinking about 4G the same exact way as 5G, because under 4G, they networked heavy with very little spectrum. Now they got a little bit of spectrum, and they're still networking heavy. T-Mobile's the same exact way. They came out the break. Oh, what's going on, Austin? They came out the break with the whole idea of hurry up and just put out as much 2.5 as they possibly can. That's good, but you still need coverage. And before anybody can take your company seriously, you're going to have to fill in the gaps. And these gaps are in rural America, which this is where T-Mobile has been working at. but they still got a long way to go. You got, you know, band 71, which is the 600 megahertz spectrum. So that is sitting on top of the fact that they try to do cellular from space. So we got a lot of different aspects going on, but growth wise, I don't think that we're going to see a lot of industry growth, which quote unquote equals a lot of spending. I think that they're kind of already spent as much money as they're going to spend currently at this point in this G generation. Um, there was always going to need more towers. There was going to always need to be more expansion, more coverage expansion, different things like that. So now I think that what we're seeing is more along the lines of refinement. AT&T is the same exact way. So I'm gonna pull AT&T up. So let's close this. And AT&T, where you at? Here we go. AT&T. So with AT&T, now this goes back to where I was saying earlier about AT&T kind of being pulling up the rear. They had since AT&T has done the biggest move out of the three, which is totally abandoning the whole mixing and matching of vendors and going straight in on one vendor. And I could see what AT&T wants to do, but I don't know if it's going to be very beneficial for them in the data hungry era that we're kind of moving into. So good thing to kind of think about is the data that people are consuming is constantly increasing. Okay. Now, AT&T, of course, as a big company, is going to want to consolidate this down so it's easier for them to manage. But from all my testing that I've done, AT&T is good in rural America. Like, when you traveling down the road and you got a connection, AT&T is the GOAT, A tier. Okay. But the problem is once you migrate towards bigger cities, more concentrated areas, AT&T spectrum does not bode well for heavy data usage. Now, granted, 5G is supposed to give you a lot more flexibility, but AT&T's network is not designed that way. I mean, they're kind of like old reliable in the sense that, hey, we're not going to change as much, but we're always going to be there. But the problem that you run into is when you get ready to start using AT&T, what's going to happen? I've seen it here in Washington D.C. Is AT&T performs pretty good, not super good, but pretty good. But in comparison to Verizon and T-Mobile, they're far behind. And with AT&T doing this, which is they're looking to do tweaks to their mid-band 5G. In this article in Light Reading, they're talking about basically, and it's not a bad idea. This is not a bad idea. There's a lot of spectrum holders in America. It's not just Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. There are a lot of different spectrum holders in America, and AT&T is looking, from what I tell in this article, to kind of be the spectrum home for a lot of these users, which would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool. So let's say that I bought some spectrum, but I'm not using it right now. And then AT&T says basically is that vendor saying, hey, we can use your spectrum. You pay for it. We basically just pay you, royalties, but we want to use it. Now we don't have to go through spectrum screenings and different things. We just become a nice little heaven haven for spectrum, which would be great. Will be awesome. I think that will bode well for AT&T, and it kind of already works with the fact that their spectrum is all over the place anyway. So take your weakness and turn it into a strength. But like in this article, they basically want to be able to take, let's say, another vendor. I think what's the vendor name in this one? Let's see. Whitewater Wireless. This company has spectrum in the 3.45 spectrum. I think was this the DoD spectrum. So they bought some, but they only got like 10 megahertz chunks. And what AT&T wants to do with Ericsson being their overall vendor is to kind of consolidate different spectrum holdings together and kind of mesh them up. And maybe Ericsson has a technology that allows them to do this, and then AT&T becomes a home for all the wayward wireless signals that doesn't have a anybody to use. You know, if you have licenses, you can go to AT&T and say, "Hey, we want to put our license on your network." Now, what does that do for AT&T in the short term? That kind of still puts them in the rear of the pack. But long term, in this 5G era, could be a very big game changer. I just don't know if it's going to bode well for the heavy data user. AT&T will be more reliable, but it wouldn't be um, a heavy data user focused network. So we're talking about carrier aggregating, you know, 6, 7, 8 bands together for, you know, these companies. Hold on one second. So let's get Brandon just popped up. Come on. There we go. Brandon,
What's up, sir?
what's going on, man? Hey, I see that you have changed your logo again. What
It
is that? Is
changes.
that the meat thermometer picture?
No, sir. That's your favorite icon.
The speed tested icon. What's going on, sir?
Nothing much, sir.
How much of what I've already said you heard?
I haven't really heard much. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, it's all good. I was just talking about AT&T and their unique position in this 5G, actually a 5G freeze. So analysts from Fierce Wireless or Fierce Network is talking about a slowdown, almost a complete stoppage. And I kind of agree because I mean we're not seeing a lot of the super developments going on in the industry. You don't hear about new tower builds. You don't hear about new contracts anymore. Even Dish is slowed down also. So they're talking about consolidation.
Who
You
did for
know,
AT&T?
no, just consolidation in the cell industry as a whole. So like you obviously know what happened with AT&T and Ericsson, right? So Ericsson is the new vendor,
No.
is a single source vendor for AT&T now. And I don't think there's anything bad about it. You're just starting to see that we're moving toward
Honestly,
a
Edmund, I'm gonna be honest with you.
what's up?
AT&T is like, how do I say it? It's like they pre. I mean, they say a lot of things and then they don't end up doing half of it.
Well, I think that the reason why they're not even doing half of it is because they're going into a new direction.
I
Well,
mean, they've
look at
been
it.
going. I mean, they've been going a lot of different directions.
Well, here's the thing: all these
Like
different
like
directions have to head somewhere. You got to go somewhere.
I mean, I don't
The
know.
question is where do you go?
Like honestly, I see AT&T as a joke.
No, don't say that.
I really do.
Don't say that, man. Look, here's the thing. I think that AT&T place in the United States is a very weird one, right? They have the they have the ability, but I feel like AT&T, the company, doesn't really want to do wireless, so they want somebody else to do it for them. You know, that's the same exact reason why
Honestly, I feel like
they
AT
spun
and
off the
T
other
doesn't even
companies.
want to do AT&T.
Oh no, don't say that, man.
You know it, Edmund. They don't
Don't
want
say
to do
that.
AT&T. They want to discontinue all the landlines. You can't sign up for DSL anymore. Not even on the fastest speed on DSL. They literally what else did they say? I mean, they're saying they don't they want to focus on wireless, but then they talk about that they're going to do this big agreement with Ericsson, and I'm like, well, make it make sense. And then you have a massive data breach, and then you have a massive outage, and I'm like, well, what else can they say and do?
Hey, it's not bowling well for AT&T. I talked to some customers that were former AT&T
No,
customers,
but
and
like,
the
no, but
data
like, they're
outages.
the slowest.
Well, because the
I
thing
mean,
is
let's be realistic. AT&T has literally catched up to them. Like, we've had people in the community that will literally say T-Mobile is actually better than AT&T. You hear more people favor Verizon and T-Mobile more than they do AT&T.
yeah, but
AT&T, the only time they have the spotlight is when the iPhone came out, and that was it.
that comes from the fact that AT&T is kind of like, I call it old faithful. Like, you know, the geyser in what was it? Is it in Nevada? I forget where. Is it? It's up in the South
AT&T is
Dakota or
literally a
North
phone
Dakota.
book.
Not the old phone book, but hey, you know what? Here's the thing: they still some in certain places they still print out them phone books.
Yeah.
But look, what I'm trying to say to you is this: is I think that AT&T's direction doesn't bode well when you're trying to look for a lot of super duper things happening real fast, right? So like if you're like speed testing all the time and you see AT&T chugging along at 150 megabits per second, and then you look at T-Mobile next to it and it's 600, you going, what's wrong with AT&T? What's going on? And it doesn't look nice because you want AT&T to be right there in that fight. But a lot of times, is it worth
But you
fighting?
have to also keep in mind, Edmund, T-Mobile has more spectrum on air than AT&T does.
Yes. Well,
And
no,
and
no.
the and the
Here's the thing. Here's
funny
the thing.
part is, half of the sites, I mean, I would say almost half the sites are on AT&T's backbone.
They're probably using
While on the
AT&T's
same
backbone.
site, they will literally have less backhaul than they would on the actual T-Mobile site.
But here's the thing: you got to look at AT&T Spectrum Holdings. AT&T Spectrum Holdings is a lot. It's a lot of spectrum, but very thin. T-Mobile is not using a lot of different spectrums. They just got a lot of deeper spectrums. So, case in point, this is just so everybody can understand. On in DC, they're doing 3 bands of spectrum. Now, here's the thing: it's band 25, band 71, and band 41. But here's the thing: band 41 is 190 megahertz of spectrum by itself. What's the equivalent for AT&T? They have to stick DoD and C band together just to get 100.
Yeah, I
Do you see
think
what I'm
some
saying?
areas have 120 or 40.
Right, but the thing is AT&T has a lot of spectrum allocated, but they don't. Their spectrum is very thin, and that's the reason why I was saying in this article here is that I think they're taking their weakness and they're kind of merging it out across a whole, like, everybody. So if your
Well,
weakness
not
is
only that, but they're also in trouble because, first of all, they decided to kill DSL. Not
Man,
only that,
I think that DSL was always going to go the way of the dodo bird. It was just that
hold on,
AT&T
hold on, hold
never.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. They killed DSL. So basically, if I wanted, well, if a friend of, if a if somebody I knew could get at least 75 to 100, they will not service them anymore. They will literally tell you, "Oh, we
Yeah.
can't sell you service, or we'll sell you AT&T Air, and AT&T Air will literally be all over the place."
Yes, but like I said, this goes back to the fact that AT&T was slow at developing their network. Like we look, me, Carlos, we all have said the same exact thing. If AT&T had actually continually, steadily built on what they already had, they could have been a juggernaut. But the thing is they fell behind. They didn't upgrade their networks. So all you got to do is kind of just upgrade as you go. That's all you really had to do. You don't have to do leaps and bounds. You just had to constantly show progression. You see what I'm saying?
Well, the thing,
DSL shouldn't have stayed at 300 kilobits per second for after 20 years. You know what I mean? It should have been, oh, well, we moved up to 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. Comcast did that. The cable industry at least moved up every couple years. AT&T just like, nah, we're good.
I remember when I first got Comcast in '08, their fastest speed was 12 megabits.
Yeah, for me,
But
the same exact way. I
yeah, it
think
was
that
12.
when I got Comcast the first time, it was 20 by 3. It
Yeah,
was
it was
20
20
by
by
3.
3.
And I'm sitting here like, wow, I thought that was just great. I thought that was wonderful. And then like every couple years you get like blast, and it would be like 30 by 5, and then it would be 40 by whatever. It was slowly
No, it
constantly
was
increasing.
50.
But I'm just saying, I'm just giving an example.
Mhm.
Here's the thing: AT&T stayed stagnant. They never saw.
AT&T
They never
never,
decided they wanted to upgrade it. Even like just upgrading your back end. You don't have to necessarily upgrade the DSL footprint. You just got to upgrade the back end that the DSL feeds into. They didn't even do
yeah,
that.
but like I've said, AT&T has never been focused.
Well, here's the thing. I think that right now, especially with the fact that
They're literally
5G.
that autistic company.
No, don't say that, man. Don't say
I'm
that.
playing, I'm playing, I'm playing.
They
I'm playing.
well, no. I would say this. They have too many. They have me too many
Res-
cooks in the kitchen. And right now, like in this article here, they're talking about basically taking that weakness that I have always perceived about AT&T and looking like it's going to turn into a strength in the idea of this. You know that there's a whole bunch of vendors out there that have spectrum, but they don't use it. Okay. Well, what if AT&T becomes the home for all these different companies that have spectrum? You see what I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
that means
yeah.
so that means they don't have to pay. They don't have to. They will basically be like, hey, look, you can let us use your spectrum. Our network we can put it on our network. You see, we can put it on our network, and our network will just it will just use it until you decide to want to use it for whatever you want to use it for, or just use it for yourself.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Give me a couple seconds.
Now go ahead. But the way that I was trying to get him to understand this was AT&T's direction could be that they use Ericsson as kind of like a all call for anybody who's holding spectrum. So if you holding spectrum in your own little area and you wanted to develop your own little network, AT&T goes, well, you have spectrum, but you don't have a network. Let us do the spectrum for you. You can piggyback through us, and you basically, best of both worlds. We get a chance to have more spectrum on our network to at our disposal, but you get a network also. That kind of gives them like, hey, we look better in the business side than we would the consumer side. I don't know how much they're going to be able to do for the consumer, but that's a whole different way of looking at it. Me personally, anyway, that's kind of how I look at it. But what is it?
But
What do
yeah,
you think?
Edmund, they need to focus on both. They need to focus on fiber, and they need to focus on the wireless side, especially since the DOCSIS well, the cable companies are basically bundling mobile and home internet,
Yeah, they
and
are.
a lot of the times, these cable ISPs, they are are almost no longer doing contracts anymore with the internet, but in a way they will do contracts, because if you end up signing up for wireless, so if you get Xfinity Mobile, Spectrum Mobile, or Cox Mobile, you basically have to sign. I mean, you basically want you to get a Galaxy or an iPhone or whatever, and basically do it in 25. I mean, in 24 monthly payments, because the average consumer can never pay the phone outright.
Yeah, and but here's the thing: the whole idea of financing cell phone lines has always been kind of a point of contention, because the financing was always kind of like a way to retain customers, but it was never a way to gain new customers. Maybe I could be looking at it wrong, because I mean, even Mobile X is doing financing for phones now, but it depends on how well this works.
But
I mean,
honestly, dude, but Mobile X to me doesn't make sense from a business perspective.
well,
I get that they're targeting the EBT customers, but the thing is that how is a company itself going to survive?
because
Because
here's the
if
thing:
you train the person,
they don't have to worry about hardware. Understand, that's the reason why they're MVNO. They don't have to worry about maintaining the network. All they have to do is go out here and find customers.
yes, but
You
for
know,
example, let's say Granny Granny Jude ends up getting a
great
flip
dude.
ends up getting a flip phone,
Yeah,
ends up getting a flip phone, and she uses only 100 megabytes per month. She's only going to literally pay $6 a month.
yeah.
She's unprofitable.
It's a okay. Here's the thing: you look at it her as being unprofitable, but to Mobile X, she's
But
as profitable as they come.
if she were to add her grandson onto the account, then that grandson is profitable.
Yeah, that but her grandson's gonna use a lot of data if she got
But
on
she's
Mobile X
not.
because she don't want to use a lot of data. That's the whole reason behind it. I don't want to use a lot of data, and I don't want to have to pay for a lot of data. So there you go. But Brandon, the question is this: is a Mobile X can do what the carriers do without all the overhead. They don't have to worry about tower deals and fiber backhaul like Dish is having to worry about, because Dish is burning through a lot of money right
Like
now.
at the end of the day, they still have to pay something to Verizon.
They do have to pay something on Verizon, but understand it's a contract deal. It's not, you don't like, how can I say it? If I wanted to do Uber and I didn't want to own a car, I could just go to Hertz. I don't have to care about all I have to do is focus on making money. I don't have to worry about maintenance on the car. I don't have to worry about the car breaking down. I don't care if the car sets on fire. Guess what? They just rent me another vehicle. That's how you have to
Yeah.
look at it. That's what Mobile X is doing. It's basically like, I don't have to worry about, oh, did one of the cell panels fall down and crash through a store?
Edmund,
You see what I'm saying?
you want to know a sad story, sir?
What's that?
The 99-cent store, it died.
The 99-cent store?
Oh wait,
Uh,
never mind. You don't know what that is.
R.I.P. Man, Brandon, a 99-cent store never would visit Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
I don't
never
even know
mind.
nothing about that store.
It's on the West
Wait, what's
Coast.
up, Austin?
Nothing much.
Hey, quick. Let me get your opinion real quick. So, how do you feel about AT&T's direction in the cellular industry currently today? Being the fact that they're perceived to be in third, like physically and I mean not network wise, but they're perceived to be moving third place s.
Considering I know things internally and portion of my family is highly invested in AT&T, I'm gonna say it like this: they need milk.
That man needs milk.
No, no. If AT&T was a child, the man went and got the milk, but never came back.
Oh Lord. Well, look, I was telling Brandon this is right is the way that I see AT&T moving. I mean, we don't know exactly what this is going to do for AT&T, but the
Like
direction that they're heading in.
no radio has said it before. They don't care about their fiber as much in his area, but they care more about their fiber footprint than they care about their network, their actual cellular grid.
Right, because but the thing is they're kind of they're kind of hitting the reset switch by going with one vendor. By going with one, but look, by going with one vendor, you basically are saying Ericsson, have at thee, make our network the best. When we have to spend money, we'll spend money, but we don't want to have to deal with Nokia and Samsung. Also, we just want to deal with one direct person or one direct entity.
AT&T is going to regret that in the future, and that's all I got to say to that. One vendor network
Well,
is
you
not a
you gotta
good
you
thing.
gotta speculate on that, man. You can't just throw that nugget out there.
If you want me to speculate, okay, I will speculate. All right. So say we have another COVID-19 pandemic and
Okay.
shortages happen. Well, if Ericsson can't supply panels, guess who gets screwed in the end? The people that are on AT&T when the T-Mobile and Verizon are in a Nokia or Samsung market.
Right. And understand it's the same exact way if you wanted to work on cars or whatever, you do want to have different vendors so you don't get held into like, oh well, I'm stuck buying only one brand.
Man, if you
And
can't
understand,
charge my
and
electric car at home, they're trash. Moving on.
that's true. But but look, what I'm saying is it's a gamble, but then on top of that, is it really? Because the problem is maybe there was too many vendors. I mean, understand the United States had too many vendors at one time. You had what was it? When I read the article earlier, you had Alcatel and Lucent and Motorola bowed out after 2G because, and then you have now you got Samsung coming up bringing up the rear. They're making cellular equipment. But what I'm saying
Brandon,
is maybe for the cellular industry, you don't need 45 different vendors. Maybe you just need two.
maybe.
I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at it from
I don't know what gear fully. I didn't look per se, but when I was in Brandon's neck of the woods 2 weeks ago,
right.
I was in the old Tejas, aka Texas. I was in Houston, and I'll tell you this much: ooh, T-Mobile, you are cooking with gas on LTE. Don't have your engineers f up the network like Sprint gave you a good network. Do not cook it.
Now you said it was only on LTE.
Yeah, I was on LTE getting 400 megs with a 19 ping. I didn't even need 5G ultra capacity on the north side of Houston. It was Sprint quality. And T-Mobile better not cook it or I'll cry.
Well, I mean, I think they're going to eventually have to cook it because
Why they already touched it with the ultra capacity. If they cook it, their 1+ gig in Houston is going to knock them out.
Was it non-standalone or was it just straight LTE?
LTE was 19 ping, non-standalone was about 17 ping, and standalone was as low as 9.
Evan, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you were to literally disable 5G in Houston, you would not notice a difference.
Exactly.
An iPhone 11 is still good on T-Mobile.
Yeah, it's still going to get 350 megs, no problem, and 50 up.
It might be a whole bunch of those iPhone 11 still hanging around.
Or even if there is, the network doesn't feel any problems. Like, I'll be honest, you went through Jacksonville. Looking at
Yeah.
T-Mobile in Houston compared to Jacksonville, Florida, Jacksonville is trash.
Oh wow.
And even I thought Jacksonville was okay. And now going looking at Houston and coming back to Jacksonville, I'm like, this is trash.
But
This
hey,
is
that's what.
trash.
But you know what? That's also a good thing because you obviously see that they need to do more improvements. It comes down to what they decide to want to do for Jacksonville.
And they already
Hey,
did.
they're obviously from the way you sounded, they're gonna have to do something to make Jacksonville a lot better.
The
Look,
Jacksonville metro and surrounding areas, they're going to have to bring back Sprint gear. They're going to have to bring, not gear, but bring back Sprint's keep sites. They killed a lot of them off, and it hurt them more than it did good.
right.
They may have
Sprint-
killed a lot of them off, Austin, because of the market share.
Well, not okay. If I'm T-Mobile and I'm going to supply a home internet box, I want it all. I don't just want based off of one thing.
No, but like you also have to keep in mind it's very expensive.
Well,
But here's the thing.
any
But right now we're going to end up going through what they call a 5G deep freeze now. We're going to
and we'll
start
see. We'll
seeing
see.
we're starting to already see the consolidation happening. I mean,
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing I saw
AT&T's
today.
move has already AT&T's move has already set this in motion, deciding to go with one vendor.
I've already seen something happening on Verizon's network, by the way, and it's something people speed test fanatics are not going to like. They're throttling
What's
the
that?
speed test app.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because I'm getting loaded
Uh-oh.
pings that are sub 60 on certain areas in the Marion County area of Florida today. And the loaded upload ping was like 150. I'd have to go back through the speed test results and pull the receipts.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that is
But you
good
know what?
because
No,
I
but
got
here's
to
the
see
thing.
the internal side of what a speed test does to a network.
But here's the thing. The fact that if Verizon feels emboldened to go ahead and just start trying to separate themselves, I mean, this will be a prime time for T-Mobile to come jumping in going, hey, we have more freedom. That's another pain point. If people feel restricted, like understand, my bill went up. My Verizon bill went up, right? Now you're gonna tell me you're gonna restrict me and you're gonna raise my bill up too?
They're not restricting as bad as you would think. It's only happening on 1 gig sites.
Well, hey, the thing is as it doesn't for me. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If I'm on a 1 gig, 500 kilobytes or 300 kilobyte site, I don't care. What I'm saying is if I feel restrictive, and if the customer pain point says that they feel restrictive, just like they said that, hey, my bill is too much, they're gonna start looking at, oh, well, I can't do what I like to do on your network. Why am I gonna stay here?
Well, it was still doing 300 to 500 down. I said the loaded pings are what's showing the throttle side. It's speed test not trying to blow 6 gigs through a downlink through a network core.
I understand that.
They're capping the bandwidth on a multi-thread connection.
If I run YouTube, am I seeing buffering on YouTube?
No.
If I decide to want to plug my phone into my my handheld gaming console, which I'm gonna start doing videos on because I want to see what the latency looks like on each and every network. If I start doing that, what's going to happen? Am I going to have a very bad gaming experience on Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile?
Man, why didn't you just get a T-Mobile home internet box?
No, man. Look, I'm not going to do what Carlos did. He strapped it up to the top of the hood of his car and was driving down the road.
He did that with Verizon. That was funny.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a bold move.
But here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna use the hotspot on my phone and I'm gonna link it to my handheld, and I want to see what's gonna happen. I want to see what type of latency I'm encountering.
I'll tell you this much: when he went through the gorge with the LV65, ooh, that thing was cooking with gas.
I believe it. What's up, TJ?
The dead zone that was on Verizon in the gorge was no longer a dead zone with the LV65 antenna. But that's a higher power antenna.
But I mean, you're running a lot more power through a standalone box than you are on a cell phone. So
Yeah, because your phone is milliwatts, and that's actually probably maybe a
it's pushing
watt.
watts.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm just
it's
saying
able to
I'm just
pick up
saying
that
that in
power.
general, like right now, the consolidation in the network is already starting to show. AT&T is choosing one vendor, and that's Ericsson right here.
Oh, AT&T EM, or not you, Keon, I'll say is what, Brandon?
Nothing.
Oh,
He's over there laughing at something. Maybe he found his favorite Comcast guy making
No,
another
you call Edmund EM.
by accident. Anyways,
I am not that knowledgeable, sir.
I've seen AT&T on 5G Plus in Jacksonville throttle to 90 meg down and 50 up.
Ooh.
I have seen that. I will
See,
say,
that's what.
I'll say, out of any mid-band 5G, AT&T in the Jacksonville area it's a hit or a miss,
Well,
but
here's the thing:
also the market share.
we have seen, AT&T reorganize their tiering system. So AT&T is probably following suit right behind Verizon, which is starting to micromanage their networks.
This was on a
And that,
first responder line, dude, that it was doing that
no,
on. Yeah, it was a QCI 6
no,
line.
no, they're not ready.
Oh yeah, they were not ready for Austin to come into the neighborhood.
Hey, look, like I said, AT&T's network, whatever direction they're heading in, which I'm like I said, we could speculate on what direction they could be heading in. But right now, I think that all three carriers are already locked into the direction that they're heading in right now. Like, T-Mobile is basically they just need to work on coverage.
And Verizon needs to
Verizon
work
is
on their rural expansion.
Yep. The N77 needs to expand, but it's only going to go as fast as their fiber footprint. I mean, look,
They're not upgrading sites that have their fiber. They're not just upgrading sites that have their fiber. They're upgrading sites that have third-party fiber providers.
yeah, but they're not doing longer term contracts. If they don't get a good deal on it, they're not going to do it. They'll rather sit there and have it on LTE than pay a long term contract.
Oh, I've seen short-term contracts when I was
That's if
talking to some of
somebody
the
decides to
engineers
give them a
down here.
short term, sure.
Yeah,
That's if somebody
I've
decides to
seen
give
it.
them a short term contract. But for the most part, like, I don't know what happened in Florida, but when I was there, like, it was still pockets of N77. But obviously, they should have been already turning that up, months before I even got there.
Man, I was in Orlando back in 22. I was right around Universal Studios and all that, and my Verizon was working better than my Verizon was working as good as T-Mobile. It didn't matter, but I'll tell you this much: when I was at SeaWorld and I had AT&T, that was the experience no radio has in North Carolina with Verizon.
Ooh.
It was bad. And like I told you, that
Ooh.
line had QCI 6. I actually went over the 50 gigs, so it was QCI 7 at the time, but it don't matter to the priority.
Right.
When your network's doing less than a megabit at a theme park, that hurts.
Oh, that's gonna hurt. Hey,
And
look,
then
while I got
T-Mobile
while I
and T-Mobile came through with their LEA doing literally 500 down and 100 up throughout the whole park.
oh wow,
Not even 5G.
just straight up LAA,
Yep.
4G, and it was doing 500.
4G LTE, it was doing 500 to 650 down and 100 to 150 up, and the lowest I got was 75 in the park of SeaWorld.
Mm,
For uplink, I could have streamed the whole park
that's not bad at all.
on T-Mobile.
I've actually gotten 700 on LAA.
Yeah, you can, but I was there when it was packed.
I'm curious. I would like to know what the spectrum holdings look like in near and around those parks. If they had to resort to using LAA, that means that the spectrum must be broken
No,
real bad around it.
they didn't get permission to come in the park and put their 5G panels in, from what I could tell. They didn't
Oh, so
because when I got out of the park, T-Mobile started falling apart, but Once I got out of the park in the parking lot, that's when I got 5G back, and the speed was like 20 meg down and
So
3 up.
that means that park did the same thing as Disney did, which is everybody was on LTE. It
Yep.
didn't matter. Like everybody was on LTE when I was in Disney World.
Yep.
There was no 5G standalone. Like, period. It was just LTE.
Yep.
Okay.
There's your answer.
Well, hey, look, I thought that maybe that they didn't do no work, but it just could have been more along the lines of the theme park doesn't want them to upgrade yet.
That is true, I would say, because
I
the
mean,
theme
if
park
you
does
think about it, the 4G is not dead. Like 4G is not dead, and you don't want vendors constantly coming in and out of your park every single time somebody sneezes a new 5G antenna. You know what I mean? You go, oh no. Now what if they might be waiting for like 5G plus or 5G advance? We don't know.
Yup.
You would have vendors constantly coming in and out all the time.
So the one thing I do want to say is I found my first full on CBRS node in Tallahassee, Florida.
Full on CBRS?
Yep.
Where was that?
Actual CBRS. It was right off of I-10, right when you get into Tallahassee. There was a Krispy Kreme donuts, and I had 650 down and 75 up. The routing in Tallahassee is messed up horribly. I don't know why the ping is over 100 milliseconds. They got to fix the routing problems in Tallahassee for Verizon, because it literally was right next to it and it was bad.
So I got TJ here. He said that he has AT&T Unlimited Elite plan. I have that same one with 4K streaming turned on, and he's noticed video throttling lately also. So that's what I'm saying. The carriers. I haven't seen it for T-Mobile, but for Verizon and AT&T of late, I need to test AT&T a lot more, which I'm getting ready to. But I know Verizon was throttling when I was in Greenville, North Carolina.
When I was in when I wasn't near Tampa, back in 2021, I went over my 50 gigs. You know, when T-Mobile texts you when you go over 50 gigs.
Yeah.
They throttled my downlink less than a meg, but my uplink was 3 megs. That hurt. But there was so much network congestion. That's the only time I have seen it.
See, and TJ, I don't know if you notice it, but when you're out in rural America, AT&T does very well. But when you get towards higher population areas, AT&T looks real bad.
Real quick.
He just said that he saw 1 to 2 megabits down when he was at SeaWorld.
Oh, that's exactly where I was. Okay, if it's doing 1 to 2 now, that maybe they made some progress, but it's still bad.
Oh God!
I was seeing 0.2 megabits.
Hey, look, I'm just saying that's kind of what I've always noticed is that as you as an AT&T customer migrate closer towards higher population of people, AT&T's network doesn't keep up. Now, could that be the fact that the reason why they're moving to one vendor?
Possibly.
Why play the whole vendor, musical chairs? Just pick one, go with them. What's up, Cade? Cade is saying AT&T is honestly obsolete.
Damn.
Giving people $5 for a nationwide blackout. LOL. Dad, Cade, come and hit him with the okie doke.
Dude, that outage really messed them up horribly. They're still being investigated for that, by the way.
I think a lot of people, like I said, it's different when, like, especially right now, right? We're in a very competitive landscape. Okay, I don't know if y'all see it, but I talk to people about it, and a lot of people are switching. So even Spectrum is helping with that switching pool. That Spectrum is going harder than Comcast is at getting these people to switch over and giving them bundles and everything. But the thing is people already had their bags at the door ready to go. They were ready to leave in the first place.
Comcast was texting me asking for a survey, and I'm like, I'm not going to give y'all a survey until I get 200 meg upload.
And then TJ said it worked. It worked. AT&T must have worked great at Busch Gardens.
Yeah, that's good. That's in Tampa.
But see, the thing is this is AT&T's direction is what I'm concerned about, because does this set them back while they end up losing customers, or is AT&T even caring about their customers? They could be doing this for more for their business side, their business customer side, than they are doing it for their customer side.
Oh, no, don't do that.
You see what I'm saying?
Shit. Yes.
It's like, when you talk to everybody who talk about how, like, Verizon is better, but they don't, like, they might have lost some customers, but they're not losing the business side. Sometimes your focus could be just the business side, and you making all the moves for only business. You're not making moves for customers. If anything, what it's starting to look like is AT&T and Verizon are coming to the realization they're going to lose the customers. They just want to keep the business.
Now I want to challenge you, Keon.
What's up?
How many times do you think T-Mobile died in my whole trip that was 2,100 miles?
I would say they probably died at least 5 or 6 times, because you probably had to go down major desolate roads.
All right, well, I traveled I-10 most of my way. There's my Comcast speed. I'm 3 rooms away from the access point. But I was going on I-10, going westbound to Houston, and then going down to Austin, and then I came back up to the I-35 corridor about 60 miles west of Dallas, Fort Worth Metro.
Right.
And then I went back down, took my same route going back. This includes, so I'm going to include the times that died coming to my stopping point for the solar eclipse, and then when I actually was going back to Houston, and then my trip back home. T-Mobile died 8 times in 2,100-mile round trip, and 3 times were in Florida for 20 miles of no service on I-10 eastbound heading towards Jacksonville. Yeah. This is without 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi, by the way.
Okay.
See, Comcast 40 meg upload.
Now here's the thing. What do the carriers look like on
I didn't have
on your
AT&T or
phone?
Dish, but I had Verizon and
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, yes.
See, I'm speculating this, right? I think that AT&T and Verizon has decided that holding on to the customer, people like me, I'm the one that pay them, X amount of dollars a month just so I can complain. I don't think that they care about us no more. Which is, I mean, look at the information that came out about AT&T. They basically made everybody's plan the same access. Why would you do that unless you're freeing up room for the business customer?
Possibly.
So if this move that AT&T is doing by going to one vendor is geared more towards the business minded customer, then I think that they just saying, "Hey, T-Mobile, you can have as many customers as you want. You can show all the growth, but you're not going to get these Fortune 500 companies. Sorry, Charlie."
No, they'll stay with Verizon
Or AT&T. I'm just saying that that's what it's starting to look like. Is like, I got an article right here where here, let me pull it up. I got an article right here I was going to talk about and this came from Speed Check.
Okay, it said AT&T is about as bad as T-Mobile was in 2016 and 2017, giving trash deals. Ouch.
Oh God.
With horrible service. I wouldn't say AT&T is horrible. I have T-Mobile's hit and miss.
See, look, here's another deal that T-Mobile's getting. They're getting Delta Airlines. But understand, Delta Airlines deals strictly with trying to appease their customers. So if
Um,
you have a customer-centric company in T-Mobile that's trying to have as many customers as possible, why would not Delta want to partner with T-Mobile for their preferred mobility?
But
But
you
if
know what's
Delta,
actually
go ahead, buddy.
crazy, Edmund, is that a lot of Delta customers don't have T-Mobile.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
okay,
Is-
that's a very hard task, FYI. He was talking about them buying out MVNOs and actually working on their infrastructure. That's still a hard task, even if you have the money or assets to do it. It's a metric f ton of money that has to go into that, especially for transports.
it's always a metric ton. Always. Look,
Oh yeah,
I just think that the end user, people like me, are going to care about this deal, right? Like, so would I fly United now, or would I fly Delta? Because I tried. I think that in-flight
I
Wi-Fi
want
is
to fly on a plane that doesn't flop around like Flappy Bird in the sky.
oh, not Flappy Bird, not Flappy Bird. I played that too. That thing was terrible, but it was
No, but
addictive.
they
It
had
was
a plane that
addictive.
literally was flopping its wings. It was
Yeah.
weird.
No. That was Southwest Airlines where the whole engine shroud just exploded
Oh,
and, and
that was
peeled
a
back,
night. That literally was the equivalent to the laptop from hell.
bro. That was Final Destination all over again. But
Dang, that was Final Destination. It was about to end up like Stadia.
uh you just have to throw that jab in there, don't you? Don't you, Austin? Don't you?
I mean, if you have a Pixel, it's nice to have the Google One VPN.
Yes, and that's dying too.
No, it's not. Not for the Pixel. I did look into that. The Pixel is still keeping it for Pixel Protect, and if you have Google Fi, you still keep the Google VPN.
Wow. But that
Yeah,
VPN is built. That VPN is built into the service.
yeah, but it's still if you're Pixel or Google Fi, you keep it. But if anyone's got like a Samsung or whatever, and you're subscribed to that subscription like you were, nope, you can kiss it goodbye.
Oh, time to change my plan. But hey, look, I'm just saying that for me, it was easy for me to like when I went to Vegas, we flew Delta, right? So all I had to do was just log in with my phone number, my T-Mobile phone number, and I instantly got Wi-Fi on the flight.
Man, I was waiting for Brandon to
See what I
make a
mean?
punchline.
But I'm just saying, do you see what it mean? See what I mean by ease of use?
It just works.
If it just works, people are going to gravitate towards it. And if you fly Delta a lot and you go, hey, I get in-flight Wi-Fi on my plane anyway. I'm flying Delta. They do in-flight Wi-Fi. Why not use Delta?
Man, you didn't see my Apple pun I just put. I just said it just works. That's an Apple line.
Oh, look, I had to say something. If you could just make it, look,
I
if
was
you can
waiting
make
for
it
it.
just work, if you could just make anything just work, it's going to gravitate. Look, I might not be a fan of if it just works, but I also have to be a realist and realize that it works and where it needs to work at.
No, I mean Dish and AT&T both could say the same.
Oh, I want to give credit where credit's due. This article was submitted by Speed Tech. Holla at your
Oh
boy. Speed
snap!
Tech, thank you for sending this to me. Um, hey, so
Oh, I want
Austin,
to.
you pay attention more than probably Brandon would, but you remember that little AI pen?
Oh God. I think so.
Do you remember
I was. I'm being
Marquez?
more. I'm being more buried in AI than a Windows 10 security update in 2026, having the home user pay for it.
But hey, look, I know that you remember Marquez Browning doing a review on that pen.
In Marquez Brownlee, yes.
And then all of a sudden, the fate of the makers of that pen and Fisker, which is a EV company, went belly up.
Oof.
But this is kind of like a bigger question, right? So you on YouTube, I'm on YouTube. Marquez is probably like one of the biggest tech people on YouTube.
I was actually in a
Is it
Twitter space in 2020 with him, actually.
right? Now here's the thing: do you think that Marquez killed was it humane AI pen, or was
No,
the humane AI pen just a bad product?
no, he don't try to kill products. It's just he put it out there and it got publicity and it fell flat on its face just like a Windows 10 security update.
But okay, so here's the thing. When I read through this article, I went back and I looked at the video, and he pretty much pinpointed things that I was already thinking about this AI pen. It's a closed system. Basically, you're wearing a phone on your shirt that's trying to eavesdrop on any and every conversation, and it barely works. And here's the thing: it only does everything through the cloud. So
I mean, if it
it doesn't
was
do no AI anything on device.
man, Google could have made this and it would have actually sold. Ooh, wait, that would have went to the graveyard.
No, it would have went to that. That would have this thing would have went to the graveyard fast. I would have buried it
Which one would
for
have
'em.
went first, it or Stadia?
No, this would have went first. This would have went first. Stadia
At
had
least you're
promised.
honest.
Look, Stadia had promised. The problem is the gaming industry wasn't ready. Look, I've gone back and forth between me and No Radio about this subject, and hey, look, he's not going to see it the way I see it, which is people want to be able to game mobilely on mobile, but the industry wasn't ready for a all inclusive. You just game on
But
our servers
they
and
also
that's it.
didn't collect major titles too. They
Yeah,
they rushed it.
but
They
the
also
thing here's
didn't
the
have a
thing:
whole catalog of
this
major titles.
this company, for the most part, and let me pull up another article because Marquez had basically took the knife and stabbed them with it, man.
Nah, I don't think he did that on purpose. I think it's just
No,
you
no.
know
Hey, look, when you
he put it
have
out there. He put it out there and nature took its course on that company.
look, you have 18 million people that follow you on YouTube. You become like he was in a Twitter beef basically because of how much power he has. And inside that article, they were talking about how like you have to be responsible with what you wield. If you put out a bad product, I'm not to be responsible for nothing.
Exactly.
Hey, look,
He's technically not responsible until a legal filing.
no. Here's the thing: if you put out a product, right,
Mm-hmm.
it needs to fix a problem that people are having. This pen doesn't fix anything. It's just another thing that's snooping on my life. You see what I'm saying?
I mean Google already does enough. I don't need more.
Hey, I rather Google snoop on my life than Facebook.
Okay, thank you. I kind of
Hey,
actually agree with that one.
Facebook don't. I don't get nothing from Facebook. What's
Oh,
up, Cade?
ooh, this
Cade
conversation
jumped.
is going to get really interesting.
Oh well. Hey, look. I'm just saying that. Hey,
Hey,
look. What's up, Cade? How you doing, sir? It's been a long
what's going on,
time.
yo? Yeah, man, it's been a while.
Okay,
Long
I want to
time.
pick your brain later on. I want to pick your brain about Windows.
But
Okay.
hey, look. My question to the panel here is: does this pen fix anything, or is just another snooping device? I think the people of the humane AI watch too much Star Trek
So wait,
because that's
all right.
exactly what I thought of when I first saw it was, hey, look, and
Okay,
I understand this is coming from a Trekkie. I'm a Trekkie. I love Star Trek. You look,
okay,
you have to understand. I love Star Trek, but sometimes we don't need that. We don't need any more ears in my life.
okay. So wait, is this basically like an AI pin? Like, what is this? I
Yes,
don't really pay attention to AI. Like, I don't
it
really
was an
care about it.
AI. It was basically think of your cell phone you pin to your shirt, but all it does is answer queries of what you want, and that's all it does.
Oh, if that's the case, they are 100% data mining that stuff. I guarantee you.
But here's the thing. Marquez Browning did a review on it and basically destroyed the company. Destruction.
What did he say?
His headline said everything. This is the worstest product I've ever reviewed.
I
Look,
mean, if
he
he's
didn't
being
leave
on,
anything
but
to the
I'd
imagination.
rather. I honestly, I'd rather him be honest to his audience than lure his audience towards a company that, like
It
Kate
was
said, data mining.
it wasn't clickbait, but I'm just saying that the way that I see technology, right? This is why I'm a tech person. This is why I'm a tech nerd. I see technology fixing things that needed to be fixed.
Well, that
This
brings me.
pen, this pen does not fix anything. What does it fix? It fixes somebody who wants to make money off of listening to conversations. Now you willingly walking around with basically a cell phone signal on your person. That's pretty much what you're doing. And if you don't think there's going to be eavesdropping, you got another thing coming. Come on.
I wouldn't go. Maybe all right. Maybe they probably aren't like listening. I do think they're probably like whenever you ask a question, they're definitely recording it. I wouldn't go that far to say they're recording everything, but
There
I
were
do think
people
that
who
they.
there were people who put it like this. There were people who were like trying it out, and when they pressed like the little button at the front of the thing, it would take a picture. Like I'm about to ask you a question. Why are you taking pictures?
Is there a flash on the device? I can't tell from the picture.
There's a projector on the device. So case in point, basically, if you wanted to interact with it, it would project some letters and stuff onto your hand, and you interface with it virtually from your hand.
Okay, now really thinking about this and in this product, and now that it's got that, and I open up the Google Meet window. All right, MKBHD might as well be the worst product at this rate.
I mean, even if it wasn't mining your data or just was straight up just an AI that answers questions, it's still useless.
I
What are
can
you
go to
what are you gonna do
ChatGPT
with it?
or Gemini and ask the question if I really
Or
wanted
just
to, if I was
fucking
desperate.
Google it like everyone else.
Yeah,
Like,
research underscore it at google.com.
Well,
like
here's the
what
thing.
is what is
Technology is supposed to fill a niche that I feel like I need to be filled, right? So we got AI, but we don't quite know what we want to do with it yet. You see what I'm saying? So, like for the end user, AI means nothing if I can't use it in my everyday. If I can't wake up and the thing runs off and does my chores for me, then it's useless. I need to. If you tell me this pen can all of a sudden get my yard rate, okay, guess what? People go, man, you know what?
Your
This solves
yard.
my yard working situation. It doesn't
Man,
solve a problem.
Keon, all I heard was your yard is literally the space that your Tesla parks in.
Hey, that's a big yard though. That's a very big square, sir. No, rectangle.
I was about to say square. I've never
It's
seen
a
a
very
square
big
Tesla before.
rectangle. I got a
Dang.
whole bunch of other rectangles next to me. But no, what I'm saying is this is if you have a problem, you turn to technology to solve said problem. This pen does not solve a problem. So
It's another one.
that's why I don't feel sad about Marquez doing a bad review on something that doesn't fit anything.
it's
Like,
useless. Just
I mean,
Google whatever you want.
when I first heard about it, I was annoyed. I'm like, oh Lord, why are you doing this? And they got multiple rounds of funding, and I can tell you what they were saying to people. Do you love Star Trek? Guess what? We're bringing that to us now. That's the only reason why you would even put this on your person, is if you're a Trekkie.
Oi, 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 oi. Even then,
But
no.
but then on top of that, look, the article, like the previous article from TechCrunch, they went into like the whole beef behind what was going on, and they were like, "Well, Marquez, you have to be responsible and about wielding your users like that because you destroyed a company." No. This is what I'm just going through what it said. I didn't say I agree with it. I'm just telling you what they said. Like once somebody said that, hey, you got to be responsible. You killed a company before they even got started. You put out a product. This company put out a product that nobody really needed.
It just seems useless to me. Like it's like honestly anything AI that you just ask questions. Like to me, AI to me should be like maybe automated. Doc. I'm just throwing this out. I would never want this,
I'm
but
gonna
like
say
just for an example, like AI doctor, like, oh, the AI tells the doctor how to be more precise, something like that.
Well,
But
that's
just
because
And
it's becoming an aid. But the thing is it making is does this pen make you a not more knowledgeable, or do you have to invent new ways to try to use it? If I have to
man,
invent ways to use it, then it's not helping me.
But the thing is, to me, AI like that, I would even argue Chat GPT, like you just answer like, "Hey, what's 2 + 2?" and it just tells you. It's just useless to me. Just
yeah, when I
use a
could do
fucking
this.
calculator.
No. I'm gonna troll even worse than that.
No, here come the troll.
Okay, first I want to say a hot take. This AI
What's up?
pen is worse than a Chromebook.
Hey! Wait a second, sir. We're not going that far.
I would
We're not
honestly
going that
argue
far.
that Chromebooks are better because you could at least do
Google
actual
search?
research. You can actually do
I can
actual
do
research with
research,
it than a fucking
but
2 +
pen that
2.
says,
but
"Oh,
look,
2
look,
+ 2 is 4."
but I want to say this, right? I want to say this. The reason why when Apple came out with the iPhone that it was an instant success is because it fixed a problem. People had cell phones. People wanted to do more with their phones, and they gave a touchscreen. They were the first nice touchscreen on a phone. It fixed a
Hey,
problem.
hey, Keon, I don't need an AI pen when I can do this. 20 times 20.
Edmund, let's be
Yeah,
realistic. Let's be realistic.
there you go.
Edmund,
See?
let's be realistic.
What's that? What's that, Brandon?
Remember what No Radio said last week?
What'd he say?
The only people that are going to use it are literally the dumb people.
I don't call people dumb. Look. I told the radio he has to stop calling people dumb.
The ones that
Can't
have
keep
an
calling people
elementary IQ, sir.
Like,
Oh, are you trying to
I
say the
kind
ones
of
that dropped
agree
out
with
at 8th
that.
grade?
I
You gotta
kind of
stop
agree
calling
with that
people
because
dumb.
I kind of agree with that because AI, like I've been saying, is more. The AI that's blowing up is just kind of like Chat GPT to help dumb people cheat on tests. Like I don't
Well,
think
like
of
I
it
said,
as
it's about you. You're trying to use the new technology to find a solution to a problem. AI, all these different AI models were designed to basically enhance the algorithm that was already in place.
well, to me, AI should be like an aid for like a doctor or something. Like it shouldn't be to help people cheat on tests. Like it should be like an actual like it helps people. It
No,
doesn't
but
just
like
I mean,
Cade,
you can
it's
put what the person writes back into Chat GPT and ask if it wrote it, and it will actually snitch on you.
You couldn't.
okay. If that
You
happens,
couldn't
that's
pay.
actually good.
Wait. Hold
It
on, hold on.
does.
You can cut and paste somebody else's article and put it into the AI chat GPT, and it will go and say, "Oh, that's my work. I know my work in from anywhere. This is mine."
Okay,
Edmund,
that is good. That's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
Edmund, you want
they
to know
put a lot
something
of
funny,
fail safes
sir?
in it.
all right. So go ahead, Brandon. First, what's funny?
The day the internet goes off in another 25 years and people are all get their information ate up is literally when they're going to show their IQ.
Hey, look. I have been always Brandon. I always been an advocate of this, right? I don't necessarily think that we're getting stupider or dumber or slower. I think that what has happened is the internet has become the repository of knowledge. Like you got to think about it. You know how if you watch like old time in movies, maybe like you had the librarian who lived inside the library. You'd be like, hey, look, I want to look up something that has to do with this, and he takes you to that dark room in the back that says, all right, here's the books for that. How
But
do you know
Edmund,
that?
the
He's the
thing
one that put it
is
there.
that people, but the thing is that these services make people dumb. Like if you were
No,
born
no,
in
no,
the
no.
80s or 70s, you probably were really smart. Now these people that are born in the late 90s, early 2000s, they're street smart, aka
Look,
they get all the information from the internet.
okay, well, hold on, Brandon. It's no different than when I was growing up. My parents went out and got the Encyclopedia Britannica on DVD, on CD. There's no difference. I looked up stuff on CD-ROM. So here's the thing. You had to go out and get the knowledge, pay for it, and bring it back home. Now you just you're at the knowledge
But
is at your
Edmund, if you
fingertips.
were going to ask a 10th grader what's 10, 9 times 9, they would never be able to figure out the answer
81.
without look exactly. They would never be able to figure it out, even a college person or a 30-something-year-old.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I think
Considering
that
okay.
I think that our technology, I think that the rate at our technology has moved faster than what we can adapt to just yet. So, like case in point, we got cell phone signals all over the place now. You don't even really need a cell phone plan to even get service. You could get a test drive. You see what I'm saying? So the little kid could have 14 test drives and never pay for a cell phone service for like 2 years. So now, guess what? Now he's just walking around in class, letting Chat GPT or Google AI do all his work for him. He ain't paying for a cell phone bill. You see what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that he's not smart. He just found an easier way to get the knowledge that he needs.
To do it, yeah. Like
That's how I look at it. Is he? First of all, he had to learn how to get all these different test drives.
he had to learn how
That
to.
doesn't mean that he's slow. He just
Yeah,
he just discovered a new way of gaining the information he needed. That's it.
yeah. That's a lot. That's a very thing with just people in general. Like they think, oh, the technology is making people dumber. It's actually making people smarter in some ways. Because think about it.
But the thing is, Kate, that it is, but at the same time, they're not smart for long.
Okay. I'm gonna say this one thing. Technology opened up Pandora's box to the intelligent and dumb side of things. Like no radio says it all the time. Dumb people. You got the dumb people and you got the smart people. We've always had the dumb people in society. The internet just revealed them.
What's going on, EM? EM says kids today are lacking severely in the education department.
I would argue because
Amen.
teenagers or teachers aren't being paid what they deserve, but that's a different topic. Cough, cough.
Teachers here are being paid $25+ an hour.
Well, let's be
Struggling to
realistic.
read at 4th grade level. Hey, look, I'm just saying that from my point of view, right? I feel that the technology boom over the last 20 years, right, has been so ubiquitous that we didn't put any safeguards in place for it. Like schools need to be RF shielded so you can't use your cell phone in the school. But then here's the thing: then the teachers can't be on, Snapchat and TikTok at the same time while teaching the kids.
I will say,
it's a bad trade off.
I will say this though, a lot of I do understand kids are not being able to read at a 4th grade level, and I'm not doubting that at all. But you have to take account it's a two-way street. There's bad students, but there's also bad teachers too. It's not just the student.
Hey, look. Here's the thing. Not to go down the political rabbit hole because that's not until the next article. I'm trying not to scare everybody off before I hit the next one that's more controversial. But the thing is until you make it where you make people have to first do it the hard way first and then give them the tools to be able to do it the easier way. Like case in point, I learned how to navigate and drive around with regular paper maps. Okay.
Man,
We're gonna use maps, right?
I heard you were drawing with crayons at 8 years old with 2 + 2 = 4.
Oh no.
Bruh.
But look, I'm just saying, like, here's the thing. I'm just saying that I learned how to navigate sitting next to my father when we were going on road trips, and I used a paper map. Now you have, Waze.
Man,
People
Brandon
don't.
don't
A lot
even
of people.
remember the
What
days of
happens?
paper maps.
But the thing is a lot of people don't even know how to use Waze. All they know how to do is follow direction.
And even then, some people can't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know how to just follow directions.
Yeah.
Heck, I know Google Maps got confused on the north side of Houston. That was a mess.
But the thing is the technology is only as good as the people who wield it. And if you're the type
Exactly.
if you're the type of person who's lazy at wielding technology, then you're going to get a very bad problem on your hands. You're going to always get lost. You're going to always have trouble. Like EM just said, hey, we got high schoolers that read at fourth grade levels. But the thing is we made it easy. Technology made it easy for them to be stuck at the fourth grade level. Like the difference between me and No Radio, right? No Radio is a super fast reader. My wife reads crazy fast, but I never read that fast. I read for knowledge. I don't read for entertainment. But not EM, but No Radio and my wife, yo, they read for entertainment. I could never read that quickly. So I'm what you call it I'm in a different mode.
I personally think it's better to read slowly so you can actually like obtain the information as accurate as possible. But that's just me.
But here's the thing: there's people who speed read.
It's like skimming. Like if you read too quickly through directions, you'll miss some parts. That's how I see it. Like if you read crazy fast, then you're just gonna miss some stuff. You know,
a lot of these articles, you could tell that they're trying to keep you on the page for longer. So I will skim, looking for I'm looking for hot words. Like
things like that. Yeah.
I'm looking for the hot words, so I'll read from that point, and then I might back up to gain more context. But that's how I read. I read for gaining knowledge.
Noted.
But
I'll put 1,000
I don't
hot
do it for
words in my
entertainment.
articles.
Say what?
I said noted. Now I'll go put 1,000 hot words in my articles.
Oh look, you can't put enough hot words to keep me around. I'll be looking at some of these articles, man. They 3-4 pages long. I'm like, bro, I just wanted to find out what your article said. I don't care.
Man, we all know your bedtime story is an article from Mike Dano.
Hey,
Damn.
it is. I'm not.
No, I was joking.
I'm not gonna front. I've read plenty of Mike Dano's articles. But I'm just saying that, take this pen for example. This is just another thing. If it had made it out of its round C funding and was a product that you can buy in Best Buy, this would be something that all the kids would be wearing, because they're now, guess what? They can walk around and be like, "Hey, what's 2 + 2? 2 + 2 equals 4. It's 4.
My
Teacher, it's
God.
4."
My brain
That's all
hurts.
it would end up being.
Yeah, like to me, just from looking at this pen, it looks like a body cam that police would use.
It probably is. Like I saying, that the way that this was advertised, it basically is like, hey, look, you take pictures with it, you could do translation through it. It was trying to get in on the whole hype train of AI. That's pretty much what it was. It
looks like
hey, are you a Trekkie? This is great. And then on top of that, we can stick a camera in it, and we can see what everybody's going to, and then they can take pictures of their food. Ooh, don't you want to take a picture of your food? Press the button.
Just imagine what this pin would be like if it actually were meant for police. The police would ask them a question. Okay, what do I do? This guy has a weapon. Grab your handcuffs and arrest the suspect.
Hey, Lola, I don't know. Hey, Cabe, have you ever seen, what was it? It was an old movie with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes in it. I forget what the name of the movie was, but it was society had advanced without crime, and then all of a sudden they brought like the most major criminal back to life, and the police didn't know how to police. They're like, so what do I do? You ask him to please put his hands on top of his head. They don't know how to. The police don't know how to police.
Yeah, that's how I think this.
But that's what happened with technology. You forgot how to do the basics.
Yeah.
But if you don't, but here's the thing: if you don't have any crime, then you really don't know what the basics are anymore.
Yeah.
But hey, look, I'm ready to go ahead and hit the controversial one. So we got the Texas people in the house, Cade and Brandon.
Oh God!
Please don't talk about cars, sir.
Here it comes! Here it comes!
Oh.
And
here we go. So this is the controversial one that I had with a couple of friends of mine.
Man, I'm surprised the Community Tech Channel hasn't talked about how if you don't have a computer that supports Windows 11, you have to pay to keep your computer updated.
Oh my
Oh, I haven't heard anything
god.
about that.
We about to have a political exchange
Oh,
moment.
who's that?
What the?
I think that's a commercial. That's a commercial.
Yo, is that a commercial?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a commercial. You're gonna get shut down.
Oh my god. Fox Business. Smart gun will put fingerprint facial recognition technology to work. So, the two people from Texas, how y'all feel about this? Your smart gun is gonna have all the little happy little things that smartphones have.
Is it like an actual gun?
Yes, an actual gun. Bang bang, shoot.
I kind of like it. I kind of like the fingerprint. I don't know about the face part. The face part kind of seems a little too extreme, but I think the fingerprint is pretty good.
But we use facial recognition on your iPhone.
To unlock your phone. That's it.
Yes, and then you use this to unlock your gun.
Oh, okay. I see. I was confused. Like, why would you need your? Yeah, all right. I like it. It'll if it's AI based and it's broken, no, I don't like it. But if it's like an actual face,
it's not gonna be AI based, man.
I live in
gun
Florida.
industry ain't going that far.
Oh, hey, Florida needs it more than Texas, Austin. I'm gonna be honest.
A
lot of needs it. Even Florida.
Don't do that.
North Carolina.
Don't y'all do that. Hey, look. What I'm saying is this: do you think that this technology is ready for being on guns? Because the reason why I put this article in my rundown is because I talk to people who are gun owners more. They lean on the opposite side than I do. And they tell me that, oh, well, what happens when it don't work? And I needed to work right then.
The thing is,
it's not ready for prime time because it might keep me from finding my gun.
Where's Carlos when you need him?
Hey, if he comes in, but look, I'm just saying in general, this is what I've been told. And my thing is this if you have a fingerprint sensor or facial technology on your phone to keep your significant other from looking at your secret girlfriends and boyfriends, then you could have fingerprint sensors on your gun now.
As the word is from the word of Flossie Carter, that's what I call scumbag activities.
Hey, do you whatever makes you happy?
Okay, so how I feel? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, all right, Kay. So you go first, and try not to be super political about it. Try a little bit, just a little bit.
I'll try, but I'll try. That's all I'm going to say. The thing is, I don't own a gun. I'm 21. I could buy one if I wanted to, but I don't own one. If I did, I would definitely I would probably put this on if the kinks were, if it was somewhat perfect. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. If it was somewhat, decent.
Here's the thing. I challenge you on this one. When people say that it's not at the level of perfection yet. If you have a Samsung phone, I unlock my phone all the time with my fingerprint. All the time.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't a trigger have a space that you could probably put a fingerprint recognition at the trigger right there at the trigger guard or right at the trigger itself? So the technology is there where you can unlock your gun via your fingerprint instantly. And these fingerprint sensors work fast. Maybe not the ones that have like the touch screen, like the fingerprint sensor into the touch screen. No. We're not talking about those. We're talking about like on my Samsung Fold, the fingerprint sensor is part of the power button.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you took that same technology and you put it on a gun, it would be just as fast and be ready for you to use as soon as you pick it up.
Okay, so the only political thing I will say, like I said, I'll keep it minimal, but this is the only political thing I can really think of at the moment. I do think it is some sort of gun control that does need to be needed. because it does give an incentive for mental health as well, because it is a safeguard where, let's just say the facial recognition didn't work, but the guy had, mental illness, he was suicidal. It's a sort of gun control, in my opinion, because it's another step that you have to do, which
Well, look,
may,
I will
which
say
I
this, right? So if you like, I pay attention to the arguments that goes on, right? And people who are gun advocates say that I want my weapons to be ready to
right now,
use
and I get it.
when I'm ready for them to use. But the thing is what happens when a child gets a hold of it? What
That's
happens
what
when
I'm
the
saying.
baby crawls up and decides like, oh look, something new, and they pull the trigger, and then bam, you feel all this regret because your baby shot yourself in your foot. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say the most craziest, baddest thing on the planet, but I'm just going to say that now your baby shot you in your pinky toe. Now you're going to go, Dag, I shouldn't have put that there. Well, the problem at hand is they wouldn't have been able to do it if you had a fingerprint sensor on it. Or what
And the
happens
thing
if
is,
you in a situation where you had to you turn around and somebody got a hold of your weapon? Now they can't use your weapon against you. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you could look, the iPhone shows that you could put facial recognition on pretty much anything. All you need is somewhere you could put the little bump. That's pretty much what it is. The back of the gun is the perfect place to put that little bump. It scans your face when you bring the gun. If you're the person who's like, hey, I'm responsible, that means you're gonna put the gun up to your face because you got to aim. It scans your face right there. Bam! It's unlocked.
the argument, I haven't. If I went silent, if I spoke and I went silent, my headset died. So I just want to let you guys
No,
know
go
that
ahead.
real quick. The thing that I was going to say before my headset died was, this kind of has the same argument where some countries have it to where if you can own a gun, but it has to be in a locker. This is kind of how
Yeah.
I feel about it, because it's like another, like I said, it's another step that you have to do before you can. And the reason why I'm so for it is just because of that mental health factor, because those two steps give that person to think like, hey, do I really want to do this? Or if someone catches the person having those thoughts, those two steps could give that person time to be like, oh crap, he's thinking about doing this.
Well,
I just think
hey,
of it
look,
as more of a safety thing. I don't think of it as like, oh, I don't see it as the whole you need it right now. I see it more as the safety part, but that's just me.
right now, hey, Austin, how do you feel, sir?
All
I
right,
don't
I
know.
got two. I got two things. Cade, first,
All right.
the first night I was in Texas, y'all are like a whole different country over there. You're more wild than Florida. Florida's got nothing. Second, I'm coming in hot.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Y'all be nice to each other.
Well, he poked at me about
Edmund.
Florida. Hold on, Brandon. But I'm gonna go back to what I was saying with this whole gun thing. The United Kingdom doesn't have guns, but you hear all the time about grandma stabbed grandpa with a knife. It just,
Right.
if you take one thing away, if it's for a mental health reason or put preventable measures, before we know it, we'll be back to the Flintstones throwing stones at each other, trying to kill each other.
Yeah, and we're gonna. I mean, we're not gonna put facial recognitions on rocks, so that's not gonna happen. But I'm just saying that here's the thing: is
a cactus,
we-
weapons.
weapons. Yes, but weapons are the preferred choice of doing as much damage as possible. Okay, my thing is make these damaging weapons a lot more safer because they're the preferred choice.
Yeah.
What was it? It happened in it happened in Vegas. The guy wasn't chucking spears down at the people below from the hotel room. Okay, he was firing weapons. Okay, so that's what I'm saying is like in the UK, because they don't have access to guns, the next only thing that they can do is knives.
And I will say,
a lot of cases.
And the thing is guess what? Guess what they combat it with? They put a lot of metal detectors everywhere.
and
So
I will say
now-
this. Oh, sorry.
But I'm just saying that now the way you can find ways to combat, the people from doing certain things. You don't see people walking around with samurai swords anymore.
Yeah. I will say this though.
It's kind of hard to conceal it. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of hard to conceal and carry, the katana in my book bag. I'm just saying.
And another point I will say, and this is I promise the last political thing. The last thing that I will say is the argument of, other countries have stabbings compared to guns. The thing is, with the knife, you have to be in proximity, right? Whereas guns, you could hit somebody in the back of the head from a half a mile away if you aim your gun correctly.
Yeah, but okay, but here's the thing. And just to keep it kind of a little bit balanced.
Hey, you want to say someone has a sniper rifle? Jesus.
Look, I'm just saying in general, the thing is no matter what, and this is a fair argument, kind of, no matter what, the human being will find a way, right? If it's going to be a stone, a rock, a knife, a sword, a gun, they're going to find a way to do something wrong. The question is, can we in America, can we make guns safer, but still give the freedom that people would like to have?
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I believe in guns, self-defense.
I think
Absolutely.
technology would fill that void of free reign. Hey, I want to be able to walk around with my gun on my hip. But let's say that somebody jumps you because you're not ready. They can't just take your gun out of your holster and use it on you.
Exactly. That's kind of how I see it as well. Like I said, it's about safety.
If I saw somebody walking down the street and I'm like, man, you know what? He think he all big and bad. I decide to take my baseball bat and hit him inside the head. I don't need facial recognition for that. But you're not going to turn around and drop your bat and use my gun.
Exactly. Like to me, guns to me are all about safety. Like to me, it's not even about shooting the weapon itself. It's always about safety first.
Oh, people in America need proper training on guns, and they never will.
That's what I'm saying. Like they need.
Brandon's been sitting in the back of class. Ain't said nothing yet. I'm waiting for his smart remark.
Okay.
Go ahead,
it's
Brandon.
coming. It's coming. Here it goes.
Brandon, I know Brandon's smart remark is coming. He's been sitting back there quietly. Go ahead, Brandon. What is your take, sir?
He said 2 minutes, I think.
He's doing something.
Yeah.
Bottom
line is
he's cooking the festivities in the kitchen.
Yeah. Last thing,
but I'm just saying. Look, I'm just saying that I've had this conversation with people about guns. There's a law in New Jersey, of all different weird places, that if a smart gun is sold anywhere in the United States, that it automatically all weapons have to become smart weapons as soon as it becomes sold in the United States, which is why gun advocates have always pushed to keep smart guns out of the United States. But this company that's doing this, BioFire, is selling it directly to consumer. They're not selling it through like a gun shop. They're doing it direct to consumer.
It's the manufacturer to the actual person.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of how I prefer it.
They're doing a Glock 9.
That's kind of how I would prefer it, because if the manufacturer has safety guidelines in place for their certain models, like policy, I think that's better than an actual gun store where they just sell it to you. They don't have to follow any guidelines as long as, background checks. And obviously,
is the company doing the background checks like they're supposed to? Remember, we coming. Oh, come on.
You need to use Brave browser. Come on, sir.
Or Opera. I use Opera. Opera's pretty good.
Opera won't let me do what I'm doing right here as on YouTube. So it won't let me do it. But I'm just saying in general that I think that technology needs to catch up to the gun industry as itself. We have means to be able to do biometrics, but we're not utilizing those biometrics in today's weapons at all. If we just did, fingerprint
Man,
If we
I
just did
see.
fingerprints on guns, would stop a lot of the gun crimes because then the guns become inoperable if they get stolen or sold to somebody else.
Yeah, it's kind of like a anti-theft. What's it called? An anti-theft.
Hey,
Man, we
hey,
have anti-theft stuff on cars, and we still got people stealing them.
but guess what? People steal the cars for fun. Hey, look, hey, that's why the kill boy were running them up.
You knew you were
Hey,
gonna go
Brad,
with that.
I'm trying to get Brandon to come up to the table. He just won't come up to the table yet. But no, I'm just saying in general that you can still find your iPhone even when the battery dies. But we can't do the same thing with weapons.
I agree. I think we're all hung up on the future instead of this current stuff we have, and that's a pretty hot take because a lot of people are always like, "Oh, we need to invest into the future," but at the same time, we're not doing the basics. You know what I
Man,
mean?
this poor.
Well, it's actually more than just investing in the future. Technology always filters downward, right? So understand that the microchip came from the fact that NASA went to the moon. The space race gave us the microchip. You see what I'm saying? So
Man.
did you know that memory foam, which is in everybody's bed now, came from the space race? You see what I'm saying? Now you get a good night's sleep, all because people wanted to go among the stars.
But to
So
me,
technology filters
they-
downward.
They went to the stars, and your bed's no longer filled with feathers.
There you go.
yeah,
Or
like
hey,
to me,
or hey.
technology to me should be kind of like that. It should be like working on the basics to make the future better instead of doing the future to make today better. You know what I mean? Like focus on today and then gradually go towards the future.
Oh, don't tell
That's
our
just my.
government that.
Oh, I agree.
My thing has always been this: is I'm surprised it's taking this long to finally get cell phone technology into the most obvious places like guns. I mean, facial recognition has already been being used for years. Fingerprint technology has been used for years, and they obviously work and they work fast. You know, I don't even have to put my finger on my phone in the best way. It just sees my fingerprint. So if you put this on a gun, guess what? It literally keeps the wielder of the gun, the owner of the gun safe, and everybody around that person safer also.
And it gives, like I said earlier, it gives the person, like maybe like a bystander of someone that has mental health issues, more time to, find the person and stop the person from committing, seppuku, as the Japanese say. Like it gives that extra few seconds to stop them from what they're planning on doing. In other
Okay,
words.
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Brandon.
Here it comes.
Gotta give Brandon the floor. All right, Brandon.
Let's
So
welcome Brandon to the floor.
How do you feel about technology that on your cell phone filtering into your guns?
Edmund, let's be realistic, sir.
Uh-oh.
A drug dealer will never buy a smart gun nor a crazy person.
Yes, but guess what? Here's the thing. It's about making the guns safer so those drug dealers and people who want to do wrong things don't get those
like,
guns.
for example, let's say a guy that lives in San Bernardino, California, goes and buys one in Texas or something like that. They don't care. They don't care. A lot of the times, most of these old school people, they will never buy a smart gun. They don't want to be tracked.
Look, here's the thing. My take is I don't think y'all understand my take on this subject, right?
But people are old school.
And still, Brandon,
and you can understand. You could be as old school as you want to be. Do you know what my political take on it's always been? I think that we should get everybody as many guns as you want, as long as they're muskets.
What the hell?
Yeah. Oh my!
You can have as many muskets as you want, but if you're gonna fire something, look, the Constitution was made when the musket was king. Okay, the Constitution does not cover Glock 9s and people having, extended mags and walking around with 5 and 6 guns on their back, talking about they're a one-man army. Okay.
Yeah, Simba had T-Mobile and it didn't work.
Oh, shit.
Brandon with the comeback. But no, I'm just saying that. Hey, my take on is I think that smart weapons need to go. It should have already been here. As soon as we got facial recognition going good.
No,
even Apple got rid of the fingerprint sensor and went straight to facial recognition on their phones.
We go from guns to Apple. What the hell?
Hey, Apple has that little chin there on their phones.
I mean, we went from Stadia to no Stadia.
That's true.
Okay, Brandon.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, sorry.
No, but let's be realistic, Edmund. I wouldn't be surprised if certain states will actually make it happen. But Texas, Florida, South Carolina, they will never go for it. Maybe California, Colorado, and all that.
I can see Texas doing it.
Hold on a second. Hold on. So EM says it's not about the cellular tech, it's about the battery tech. Good point. If we could charge your phone off of the IKEA desk, why not charge your gun off of that same desk? T-charging. You don't have to put a crazy battery inside of a gun. You just got to put something in there long enough that can be on standby.
Brandon, I will counter your argument about Texas not getting it. I do think it would happen. The reason why is because, God, I'm trying not to be political here, but it's kind of hard. Texas,
come on, man. You can do it. You can do it, sir. You can do it.
Texas, believe it or not, it is slowly. But Texas is slowly.
But Texas is very old school, Cade, and a lot of the people in Texas are.
Texas I can back Brandon up to this, and Keon never been to Texas. Texas is literally like another country compared to the rest of the United States.
And
literally, like you will walk into a California and then walk straight to an Alabama, Texas.
I will say this though.
That's accurate.
Hey, look. We obviously don't have borders like you can't cross from one state to another. But I'm just saying that.
Edmund, have you seen the southern border, sir?
Hey, that's a different border. That's a different border, sir. We're not talking about that border. And I'm not. And on this evening, we're not going to talk about that border. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is this is, and I understand. EM brought this up. He's like, hey, look, battery tech is different. I think that we have made it where we could put batteries in almost anything. We got watches. I got a watch on my wrist that can go 3 days or before I have to charge it.
Actually,
but
Brandon,
what I'm saying is when you say that certain things can't be done, I think that we are way past it can be done. It's just about time to start implementing it.
And the thing that I was going to say about Texas, I do think police officers would probably go for it in Texas. 100%. Because they have to think about the citizens. They have to think about the citizens.
Your police are so chill in Texas. Like my family was able to do 120 in Austin.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Austin. It really depends on where you're at.
Yeah, they're more chill back than they are in Florida.
Texas,
I will say that.
Texas is big, man. Understand? You're not gonna catch everybody. You're not gonna be looking for everybody at all of Texas either. So,
but I will say, I don't think it wouldn't be. I don't think it's impossible that the smart guns would come to Texas because the police are very gun advocates, but they do prefer safety as well for the citizens.
Hey, look, my take on it is this: is you want to be old school? Cool. Go old school by pouring gunpowder down a breechless tube, non-rifled. Make your own bullets out of whatever you have around, and then fire it with a flint rock.
ATF, I do not know this man. ATF,
man, I'm not giving away no secrets.
No,
if you look, the basic musket is a flint rock, gunpowder, and anything you can ram down the front breech of the weapon.
Yeah, but you know the FBI headquarters in DC don't like you talk about that.
Oh, look. If I was giving away some trade secrets here, I can understand that. But if you follow history, you know what a musket is. Matter of fact, no radio would you would say you know what a blunderbuss is.
No radio would have been in this conversation. Said it wouldn't have stopped anything, considering North Carolina's the gun toting liberals.
Yes, and guess what? I see North Carolina picking up on smart guns a whole lot faster than I would see Texas doing it.
Yeah, it depends. Where are you talking?
I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying, like, I think that our technology is at that point where we can start adding safety measures into these weapons. I really do.
I'll put it this way.
I don't see it where no radio lives. To be fair,
I'll put it this way. Texas made it 21 for handguns, and that's what blue states did originally. No one thought
policy.
But the thing is, anyone before that, no one thought Texas would make it 21, but they did. So
hey, no, I wouldn't even thought that either. But
with the program with most of the South.
But hey, look, I'm just saying that and EM brought it up is about the application of, right? I think that we're past the application phase. I think that it's all about implementation. It's time to start implementing all the technology that we already have gone through and to make this thing safer. I mean, hey, nobody can go and steal my car, but somebody can break into somebody's home and steal their gun. Look, pawn shops don't even take cell phones anymore because they can't reliably sell them. So it will be the same exact way about guns. If somebody broke into your home, stole your gun, they can't go sell it to somebody because it won't work. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it won't work, guess what? It makes it where it's not a market for it on the secondary, tertiary, and tertiary markets. It's all about killing a market. So guess what? You get rid of this quote unquote dark market. It makes things safer.
And the whole argument about drug dealers, can gain access, but that's a very slim majority. Like most gun owners are legal, do legal.
Yeah, but here's the thing: a lot, especially inner cities, a lot of these guns are bought at trade shows and different other places where they don't do background checks, and then they literally just take it, drive across the border up to wherever, and then guess what? They'll find somebody to buy it.
I'm not saying that's not the case.
So this is how big Texas is. All them numbers are literally where all the Democrats are at. Outside all this is red.
Oh my God!
And they're still in between, in the middle, red.
I see it. Oh, so you think that this technology won't see the light of day in like a state like Texas?
No,
I heavily disagree. Like I said, the whole 21 and over.
I mean, I see it an option, but it'll never be mandatory.
Cade, I'm gonna be really.
I think that you have to get it always takes time, right? The amount of time it takes for things to kind of naturally progress into norm. So if we start having guns that are smarter guns, right? Then what's going to happen is people go, hey, smarter guns are keeping people safer. So now they're going to have to turn to these manufacturers and say, hey, you have to start manufacturing smarter guns. Now you're going to have somebody who doesn't manufacture smart guns and still sell those, but as it starts becoming more progressively applicable across everybody, then eventually it will just end up being only smart weapons.
Am I hearing that
it'll end up being taboo to even sell a weapon that doesn't have some type of smart tech in it?
Am I hearing that you want smart guns for dumb people, just like artificial intelligence needs to be around for dumb people?
Hey! Look, I'm not gonna go as far as you calling the people dumb. I'm just gonna say they might be mentally challenged, sir. Look, I don't call people dumb. I call you mentally handicapped.
I'm not mentally handicapped.
I didn't say you were. I just said other people are. And if you and if they respond to it, then I must have been talking to you.
Damn.
But I also was laughing too. I didn't have a voice isolation.
I will say though, I do think it would come to Texas. Do I think it'd be mandatory for most of them? Probably not. But Brandon, you
Yeah,
just
it
make
won't.
you just make it seem like it's not going to come at all.
Hey, look,
I
look,
heavily
hey,
disagree.
No,
Brandon.
no. It's coming. It will be an option, and certain
Hey,
people
Brandon,
will get it.
do you not? Hey, Brandon, do you not have Teslas in Houston?
I did not see a damn Tesla when I was in Houston. The only time I saw a Tesla was when I was in Austin.
But Austin, can you confirm to me you hardly saw any chargers?
That too. I did not see chargers. Like I said, I would have agreed with Cade, but since I've been in Texas, put boots on the ground, that state is just what the media says is kind of not true.
But look,
Exactly.
I'm just saying that
I saw more
Teslas-
Mexican restaurants in my life in the 72 hours I was in Texas than I have seen in 22 years of my life.
Hey, look, the only thing I'm saying is
yeah.
this: is you can't buy a Tesla from a regular dealership, but yet there's still Tesla owners out there. So
Edmund, I
it's
saw
gonna
a
still be the
Ford
same.
dealership
Charge it
have
at
Tesla,
home.
sir.
There was
Yeah,
literally
charge
a
it.
Ford dealership down literally next door to my hotel
But
in
that's what I'm saying
Texas.
is hey, look, buy going to a traditional gun store is for people who don't have a computer at home and then they just do everything via the old fashioned way. But if you want whatever you want, you're gonna order it online. Why I don't even have to go to the gun store. I can just order it online now. It don't matter. I can give you my ID and all the information online now, and I can get whatever I want.
They still require you pick up guns here.
Hey, in other places they don't.
They can't ship them through the mail. That is
No, look, this company is saying that they already are sold out and they're working on the next round of
well, they can
building
sell
the next one.
you could sell adapters and stuff like that, but I'm talking about actual guns.
I don't know what the laws are in different states, but like I said, you can always find that loophole.
But Edmund, that's our point. Every state has different laws. Just like people can't smoke marijuana in Texas, but they can in California or Colorado.
Right.
I still smelled weed when I was in Texas.
Well, yeah, but they don't really enforce it sometimes.
No, they don't. I saw
you.
one person. I never thought I would see the day where I literally smell skunk weed and cocoa butter mixed together. Oh my God, was it disgusting?
They got to
that's
first
what
find you,
happens
man.
when
That's
you
all I
stay
gotta say.
at the hooker hotels.
Oh
no, I wasn't near that. I was down the street.
I'll play.
Hey, look, I got one more story I want to
passed by the In-N-Out and I smelt that. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, I got one more story, and I'm kind of glad the resident Apple users are all on the panel today. So,
oh, bring it on, Mr. Windows user, bring it on.
Hey, I'm just saying,
Mobile.
man. You know,
I more than likely will challenge your argument because of the fact that if you are a Windows user and your computer cannot get Windows 11, but you get annoying pop-ups, and on top of that, if you want security updates, which you're more likely going to have if your computer cannot support Windows 11, you're going to have to pay Microsoft $61 first year, second year, $122, third year.
Yeah, we're gonna end up getting ads in our windows. That's what's gonna happen.
No, they're gonna no, they're literally charging for it. They're charging the home user too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're going desperate. Balls to the wall.
Hey man, it's about you need that money. Software ain't cheap. Somebody got to develop it, keep it up, and keep it going. But hey, look.
Right.
So I got this question. I got this question for.
I feel like it makes sense though.
I mean, my MacBook. I know people that have MacBook Pros, like Levendi's MacBook Pro is from 2016. He don't have to pay for the software security patches on 13.
Yeah, but he paid for the hardware though, and the hardware pays for the software.
But if I pay $1,000 for a Surface notebook and it no longer is supported, I shouldn't have to be forced to pay again to keep security updates.
Here, I'm just gonna kill this argument right now. Why should you have to pay for a preference? Because people prefer Windows 10 over 11. Straight up. Why should you have to pay for
That's why I'm making this argument.
Hey, look. No, because here's the thing. It's about support. It's always going to come down to support. is how long do you support this software for, and support costs money.
But Edmund, the thing is that Windows 10, I mean Windows 7 and XP were well, I would say XP was like literally holding on to Betty White.
It was holding on for dear life because nobody wanted to migrate from it. But here's the thing,
Exactly. That's my
can't
point.
you can't progressively move forward by always supporting the stuff in the past.
There's even ATMs to this day that still have XP.
Good for them.
If you're gonna charge a company for it, then yes. But the home user, that's a little too far, Microsoft.
I would never use it, but I'm just saying, like, look, Microsoft is going to learn very quickly about how much people are willing to tolerate. If you're the type of person who's like, hey, look, I'd rather look at a couple ads before I start playing around on my computer, guess what? They're going to let you do that. And then, Microsoft can make money off ads, or you're going to pay not to see ads. That's pretty much the world that we live in now.
They're still going to include. They're still going to include the ads in the taskbar manager while you paid for your security updates, Edmund.
Hey, like I said, how much if people are going to tolerate? If a lot of people might end up.
I'm sorry, you'll never thought this came out of my mouth, but it's either Linux, Mac OS, or Chrome OS. I hate to break it, Windows.
Oh no. Google might end up getting.
Bro, if they charge for a web interface software, I'm going to be so mad at Google. I would hope that company rots.
What I'm saying is sometimes people give you ideas. Chrome they can end up saying, "Hey, look, this software update ain't free."
No, but Edmund, let's be realistic, and then I'm gonna close it. Then we're gonna close the argument.
What's up?
Microsoft probably wants to put ads because a lot of people don't use Edge.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I don't use Edge at all.
Exactly. So a lot of people use the Chrome.
Just a few minutes ago, y'all gave me every option except Edge. Oh, use Opera. No, use such and such.
Exactly. Nobody wants to use Edge.
I was telling you so you can block the ads so your stream doesn't get shut down.
Exactly. Hey, look, I gotta be more proactive about it. That's all. Hey, look, if I thought that Opera or something else would work, I would do it. But at the end of the day, all I gotta do is just manage it.
He just doesn't want to expand. He'd rather get a Candy Crush ad audience.
Hey. People play Candy Crush still. But look, I want to ask y'all this question about this. Emulators are taking over the App Store.
I've seen this for 2 weeks now. Good for them.
What do you mean good for them? You must not be a gamer. I know now. I know Cave is.
I'm just. This is a dead horse being beaten for the last time.
No. I think this is important.
I've heard every tech YouTuber that covers Apple cover it. It's a dead horse being beaten for the last time because he didn't behave.
Oh no. Well, hey, here you go. Hey, Cave. So you being an avid gamer like I am, you're starting to see emulators pop up on iOS. How do you feel about it?
I'm pro emulator. I believe if you want to play old school games, you should be allowed to. I do think emulators are a little risky because you have to download files and put the files in the emulator, and that could probably put your device at risk for viruses in case you get a bad file. But if
Apple didn't used to do this. They just now started opening up. I think part of that's due to the fact of what happened in the EU, where they had to open up because. But I'm just saying, gaming wise on your iPhone, I mean, Apple did ask for the smoke by showing that you could play games on the iPhone. So emulators coming up.
It is sandbox Cade. It's not going to reach out and do handshakes to other things. Apple does sandbox things. They have to go through rigorous things. So if you even download a file, there's still a safe sandbox.
So I'm just saying in general, because the ongoing saga between me and No Radio, because he loves to say that gaming is just going to be as is, and I'm like, mobile gaming is the thing. Emulators on phones is as mobile as you can get.
I'm sorry.
If people are downloading more emulators on iOS, that means that people want to play more detailed games on their device. Why? Because they're not always they're on the go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we
So that's
freely
what.
can walk around now. Couldn't say that 4 years ago.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, Nintendo kills a game, and all of a sudden the emulators pick it up. Who's not playing old school Nintendo games on their iPhone? Who wouldn't want to do it? I mean, we
And then
have the technology to be able to do it.
the only people that are playing Mario on their phones are literally grown ass people that are literally
Man, there's
getting the fries
kids
for
doing it
$1 at
now.
McDonald's.
So I will say
There's
one.
kids
I'll say
doing it now.
one
What are you
thing
talking
about.
about?
I'll say one thing about this emulator stuff. It's
What?
blowing up in the news right now. But give it 3 months when WWDC comes. Less than 3 months now. When WWDC comes in, this stuff will be flushed right under the desk and put down in the damn disposer because
Do you have some insider information, sir?
no, hold on, let me finish what I'm going to say because Apple's good at doing this. It will be in a tiny niche community, just like the cellular community that we all have groups of that people do speed tests and stuff like that. But the general world don't care. Just like the emulator stuff will be to a niche little community, and WWDC or WVDC because they messed up the AI stuff is gonna wash that away. It's Apple's teaser before Dub Dub.
I
Hey,
am a
look,
little
I'm
pissed
just
at
saying.
Apple
I'm
right
just saying
now.
in
I will
general.
admit.
I'm just saying
Right?
in general is this, right? Is the appetite for gaming on the go is starting to look better and better. And Apple did not by happenstance show that you can game on the go just for shits and giggles. Okay, they did it knowing that they wanted to be able to be a gaming device.
And they did it quietly too. They snuck in this App Store new policy update, and it came in overnight. Actually, that's the funny part.
If you got emulators like, hey, look, I've always said this. I think Nintendo just needs to go ahead and just be a software company and let Apple and Android just be the things they run on. But Nintendo's not going to listen to me. So that's a pipe dream.
Neither as the joke when it spread for the guy that does these YouTube shorts calling Microsoft's Xbox a bread box and Nintendo and then Sony with their PlayStation. They all like to keep their niche and try to stay in the past.
You seeing Xbox trying migrating away. You can say yes or no to this, but even Microsoft is migrating away from hardware.
Well, they always were and always will. But I'm talking about like the if you want this or that, you're gonna have to have either the PlayStation or the Xbox still for these exclusive things.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I like with me, I'm playing around with like the Steam Deck, not a Steam Deck. I'm playing around the Legion Go. I have a Steam account. I'm gonna start testing cellular networks off of my handheld. I want to see what the networks do off my handheld now because I'm always on the go. I'm barely at home. I'm testing networks, or I'm doing Uber, and I come home to go to sleep and put new clothes on. That's pretty much all I do.
What's the percentage of people playing games when going out?
A lot of people.
How?
I don't necessarily know what the actual number is, but let's just say there's a lot of people.
I mean, we were promised 5G.
It's more.
We
It's
were
a lot of
promised
people.
all this stuff when they announced 5G, and look at it. It's like excuse my French, ladies and gentlemen, but it's shit warmed over.
Yeah, I don't think so because here's the thing: Apple literally showed what they could do on the phone. They were talking about our what is it? They were talking about ray tracing on the iPhone. No,
people don't know how to use the camera.
No, when they had Verizon CEO, they were bragging about millimeter wave. They were bragging about millimeter wave, not mid band or low band. They were bragging about the millimeter wave. And where is millimeter wave? Only in hotspots.
That I agree with. I do think that they need to really focus on millimeter wave a lot more so they could actually appeal to customers. Instead of just being
Low
like,
latency,
hey,
Won't.
sub 10 gigahertz, yes, but that probably won't be for a while.
well, I didn't say it was going to be now. I just think that
No,
they
I
need to
just
Wait,
start
no, I
but
was
doing
hey,
just
that.
telling.
it's
I
all
was just
about
telling you, Cade.
it's all about the use case. It's about being able to use it. Look. Regardless if you are in a dense city or you in the middle of the country, I want to be able to game on the go. If I have a child that's in the back seat, I don't want them. If their favorite game is Roblox, but they're playing with their friends, they're gonna want a good stable internet connection. Period.
I saw.
Evan, look, hold on. I'm gonna say this. Yesterday, I was watching Sneed's a video from Seed yesterday, and I saw that he was talking about they're gonna the FCC upgrade the definition to 100 megabits and this and that, and then slowly people are not they're not seeing any more buffers anymore. But then I think in my head, like, people still see buffer because people are downgrading or get the cheapest plan and they don't have access to millimeter wave and they get standard definition quality, or they don't even know how to enable the 4K HD feature.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about this on Verizon?
On the carriers. On the
On the
carrier.
Well, on the carrier, like, understand that AT&T's implementation is very complicated, but at least it's there.
T-Mobile's
On
is no
Verizon,
different, sir.
I mean, it's a
T-Mobile
toggle through. It's a toggle through the app.
They all make you do it unless you're on ultra wideband.
Because guess what? If the customer doesn't turn it on, that means it's just another person they don't have to worry about using.
You know what?
Even most people don't know their passwords to enable it.
You know what I want to say, and Kay didn't say it. Use the VPN.
They don't. Most consumers don't know.
Most people don't even care. So the people that want the high quality stream, Brandon, they're going to use a VPN. Like No Radio said in last week's podcast.
No, I know that, Austin, but most people don't use that.
You didn't let me
don't
finish.
care.
You didn't let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
What I was saying was the people that are nerdy that want that speed, they'll use a VPN. Take No Radio, what he was saying about Verizon not working at the high school. His daughter was using a VPN to bypass the firewalls at the school.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is the nerdy of us are going to find the workaround.
Exactly.
Like I said earlier about kids, like I don't necessarily think that kids are dumb. I think that they just find different ways to do things. Like we want people to do things traditionally, but if you care about every single kilobit per second, you're going to find a workaround. Understand? That's just a given about how people are. You block me one way, I'm gonna find a way to go around it. Why do you think ad blockers is a thing?
Another example.
Yeah, but look what YouTube's doing.
Yes, they're trying to keep you from using it.
Another example is when a certain website got blocked in Texas. Guess what? What the new
okay, don't go there because I want to make a joke, but we're on air.
I'm not gonna say it, but people know when a certain website got blocked in Texas. Guess what? New surge in searches were for a VPN.
VPNs.
And Cade, it also got blocked in Utah because the Mormons were butthurt. Oops,
yep.
Oh,
sir, look, this is what we have to go through, Edmund.
Brandon, I am glad you knew not to put. Oh my God, dog! Hey, I for a second there I got nervous, but then I realized, okay, this is for educational reasons only. But
yeah, this is actually real, by the way.
Oh man. Like I said, hey, people are going to find their way around it.
Literally.
Oh boy, that Brandon, you made me a little nervous for that second, man. You made me nervous, but I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching out for my well-being.
It was for educational purposes,
was watching
everybody.
out for your well-being.
But no, look. What I'm saying is if there's a will, there's a way. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if you want to visit your favorite websites of choice, I'm not going to say which one it is, but
You
we
can
all
follow-
know what people are doing.
Oh, it just
You
showed
can-
Keon. They're still fighting it.
You can follow the community tech channel at onlyfans.com.
Oh, Lord. Not the OnlyFans community tech channel. But no, I'm just saying that look, the nerdy people are teaching the other people, hey man, how come my favorite website's not working? You're gonna need this thing called a VPN. I knew I kept a tech friend for a reason.
But a lot of the times, Edmund, those VPNs are the worst. They're worse than public Wi-Fi.
The worst. But here's the thing: it comes down to people not understand. If you don't understand how VPNs work, you don't realize that your computer search
Brandon.
history goes through somebody else's computer.
Yo, Brandon, remember I was literally at the hotel out in Houston, and I was literally, let's just say, messing T-Mobile up.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I did?
What you done did?
Yo, you bypassing all that.
Oh yeah, I bypassed a lot.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Let's just say, Keon, I got 300 meg on T-Mobile and uncapped on a T-Mobile One plan without the T-Mobile One Plus International promo from 2018. Oops.
Nice.
Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, that's what visible users do every day.
Oh.
Hey, I'm just saying. Look, I had somebody comment on one of my videos because they were seeing that Verizon was underperforming, and he was like, "Well, why don't you use a VPN?" And I'm like, "Well, every person with a cell phone is not going to use a VPN. They're going to take the network as is and take whatever is being given to them." And that's kind of what I was showing was this is what's being shown to you. So that's the thing is whatever's being shown to you, that's what a lot of people are going to take. Now, you blocking somebody's favorite website, they're going to take extreme measures. People aren't running out to go get VPNs because their cell phone can't, give them 100 megabits per second faster than what they did, 3 weeks ago. But you take away their favorite website, that means war.
Oh. They can't.
That's what that means.
They can't mess with their skeletons in the closet.
Hey. But
Edmund, do you watch Triple X at night, sir?
No, I do not. Not at night. Maybe in the afternoon.
He just plays.
The sun is up.
He just plays Destiny 2.
No,
Before
I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about websites being blocked where I live at, sir. I don't have to worry about that.
Before Edmund realizes that he's gonna have to go to bed at 4:00 in the morning instead of 5:30 because the sun rises.
That's true. The sun is starting to come up a lot sooner.
Well, I don't have to worry about that living in Florida.
But hey, so we have reached the end of the podcast. Anybody y'all want to plug what y'all doing? Austin, you can go first.
Well, as long as I'm not busy tomorrow, there will be a live stream on my tech channel. I've been busy with a lot of personal family stuff, but hopefully I get back in the saddle and no, I am not going to go visit no one's favorite website on my stream because Florida's free and Florida doesn't block websites.
I thought it was
that's Austin S Tech on YouTube. That's Austin S Tech on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
All right, Kay, where can people find you?
I mean, here. I mean, I'm the moderator for your chat, so I mean, I guess.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, maybe they want to follow you on Twitter/X.
What?
Oh, I deactivated that shit like a year ago.
Oh, damn.
Oof.
Dang,
Yeah.
son. He's like,
I
don't want none of that.
After that $1 thing that Elon did, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I never got hit with that charge.
Yeah, you won't.
All right, hey, so Brandon, do you want people to find you on any of the social medias, or you like to play stealth?
Oh, they can find me on the dark web.
The dark web? That's that's Brandon at onlyfans.com.
Oh God.
Hell no.
And then because no radio's not here, I'll say it for him. You can find me in your mama's bed sheets.
Ooh.
Oh god damn. Oh, you gonna get ripped apart for
I
that
had
one.
to keep no radio lit.
Hey, he wasn't here yet, so fair game.
I
But
do it.
hey, thank y'all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. I'm gonna put timestamps in as soon as I come offline, and you can go back and rail on whatever subject you might prefer. Thank y'all for watching, and y'all have a very good evening.
Oh shit.